Hi, so I've had some incredible news today, and that is that the world's highest court, the International Criminal Court, have officially registered my legal argument to end the Syrian war, which proposes their power to end it with some immediacy and their responsibility to do so. So I've been familiar with the Rome Statute for some time as I've been arguing it in the unforeseen circumstance of industrial destruction to try and protect our major ecosystems being the rainforest and the Arctic and the coral reefs. And because of that familiarity, and to be honest, when I was directly affected by the terror attacks in Nice and Paris, because they were in my neighborhood, I really became connected to the fact that our governments are causing that terror on a mass scale to people, to citizens in Syria and Iraq and Yemen and probably all sorts of places in Africa with uprisings. And Libya, and I mean the list goes on, and I just this military empire and this state of permanent war and violence and police all over our streets is it feels like we live at a terrifying time where we're on the cusp of a completely different world, and we've been so privileged to have such peace and security, well, in the places at least that I've lived for so long. Clearly not in the Middle East since 2011, thanks Mr. Bush. But my legal argument started with, I think I said, may the leaders of great nations fall before the death of another Syrian child. And I mean it, because they are committing the grossest, most destructive crime, or one of the grossest, most destructive crimes of our time. And the Rome Statute has the power to stop it. So with the official registration of my argument, what I've done is I've triggered the court's responsibility to review my argument and make a decision on whether they will open a formal investigation against the leaders who I've proposed are responsible. And I think my argument is quite polite, really, because I highlight at the beginning Article 25F, which suggests if these leaders simply voluntarily and completely abandon the mass murdering conduct that they inflict against the Syrian people on a daily basis, then they would no longer be criminally liable, at least for the future crimes. I happen to think that they probably should remain criminally liable for the last 5 years of what they've done to Syria and Syrians. But what is important at the moment is preventing this from continuing. And when you read articles about Hillary Clinton stating that if she gets into power, her first objective is not to help the American people, it's to create the propaganda facade of Assad's regime being, or government, sorry, legitimate state government, being one of deplorable human rights and one that needs to be taken out. Well, I'm sorry, America's going in there and bombing how many people to death every day with their military machine. Hunting insurgents, but unfortunately, also funding them, and more importantly, killing civilians. And there has got to be a better way than dropping bombs indiscriminately on civilian areas. And so, I mean, I'm coming from a humanitarian point of view. We've got to stop the mass murder of people and the war machine. So my legal argument is kind of unique. It also proposes that the Rome Statute has the capability to recover all the profits of war. So that is to recover the profits of the arms trade. Anyone who's sold bombs or guns or fighter jets, which have been used in the Syrian war, they are providing means for the mass murder, and their profits can be seized and put in a trust as restoration or for reparations for the Syrian people to rebuild their lives. And that would be an incredible, incredible precedent to set for the world, because if the defense industry can no longer make money from going one country after the other through the Middle East and through Eastern Europe or through Africa in order to sell more bombs and guns and fighter jets, then if they know that there's no profit in it, if suddenly the defense industry became effectively non-profit because any money made was then seized and held in trust to restore the lives of the victims, which will be collateral damage or mass murder, as I prefer to call it, that would literally probably disarm the defense industry. Why make bombs and guns if there's no profit? Might send a bit of it underground, but at least it would stop nation states sending their mass murdering military machine into these countries to destroy civilians. This is not our world. We borrow it. The way to peace is not through war, it's through peace. And the children, especially the children of Syria, are the future of the planet and do not deserve what they're being treated like at the moment, which is far less than human. It's unbelievable to watch those videos. So anyway, I can talk forever, but my point is this is really exciting. It's triggered something very important, which is that the court now has to analyse my argument and make a decision on whether they will open a formal investigation. And if they did open a formal investigation, I believe that the Rome Statute gives the International Criminal Court the power to stop this war by something like October, because they have the ability to extradite and arrest and put to trial or even hold the leaders accused under arrest until a trial happens, unless they voluntarily and completely abandon their action. Now, I'm just, intellectually proposing that the International Criminal Court should have some ability to uphold justice in the world. And either it's legal philosophy or this war can be stopped. And that court can show its power to lead the world to peace and prevent 5 of the worst crimes of humanity, which are absolutely happening in Syria at the moment and largely being inflicted at the order of our government leaders. So it's an epic confirmation, and I hope it goes somewhere. It's very satisfying anyway that it's under review.